The restaurant was full of murmuring couples and clinking glasses, but at a table for two near the good thing is rude. There were the window. A woman in powder blue sat utterly alone.
20 minutes late, he said he'd be here by 7.
Her phone buzzed, a message from her date. Something came up. Don't wait for me.
He knew. They all knew. This was the point, to leave me sitting here, a punchline.
Is everything all right, miss? Your companion hasn't arrived. Would you like to order something while you wait?
My date booked this table and never came.
At the bar, Kevin Wilson had been nursing a glass of whiskey, slowly realizing the woman in the blue dress wasn't just waiting. He set down his glass and crossed the room, a man who'd seen enough of the world to know when someone needed kindness.
Excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing. May I take his seat?
He's not smirking. He's not pitying me. He's just asking. You can sit. Just don't expect me to be charming company tonight.
I wasn't expecting charming. Just company. I am Kevin, by the way.
Kevin pulled out the empty chair and sat, the candle flame steadying between them. For the first time that night, the table didn't look so barren.
Sophia Chen.
Would you care for dessert? Our chocolate lava cake is particularly good tonight. 2 lava cakes, please. And don't let me talk you out of ordering anything else, Sophia.
You are buying me dessert? You don't even know me.
That's the point. I get to know you while you eat cake. What happened tonight, if you don't mind?
A setup. Work friends thought I needed a push. Set up a blind date. He never showed.
She didn't add that the push was less a kindness and more a knife. Kevin heard the weight behind the word, friends, and filed it away. Her phone screen glowed with a new message. So, did he show? Or are you crying into you, Ryan?
They're watching. They want proof I am miserable. They always know when to twist the knife. I can't let Kevin see this.
You went pale for a second. That text didn't look like a friend checking in. What did it say?
It's nothing. Just colleagues being themselves. It really doesn't matter.
It matters enough that your hand is shaking. Those aren't colleagues. They're tormentors. Am I wrong?
They made a betting pool. $10 each on whether I'd get stood up tonight. Mark sent that text to rub it in, and he won, obviously.
That's not a workplace. That's targeted harassment. Where do you work that this is tolerated as a joke?
Tech Data Solutions. Branch office downtown. I am just the quiet one who doesn't fight back. It's been going on for months.
I once had a manager who wore sunglasses indoors, called himself the Visionary, demanded we call him the Hawk. Mark's got potential.
He made me laugh, a real laugh. But Monday, Mark will be waiting, and I'll face him alone.
The waiter placed the leather folder on the table. Kevin reached for it before Sophia could even glance at the total.
You don't have to do that. I can pay for my share. I am not a charity case.
I know you are not, but tonight, let me be the guy who bought you cake. Next time, you get the check.
They stepped into the cool night air. A street lamp cast a pool of gold on the sidewalk, and they stopped there naturally.
Thank you for this. It was more than I deserved tonight.
You deserve a lot more than a table for 2 and a no-show. Promise me you'll remember that.
She held out her phone, and they tapped devices to exchange numbers. The city hummed around them.
I'll try. Will you text me?
I will. And Sophia? Good luck, not that you need it.
She walked home alone, the blue dress feeling less like a costume and more like armor. But the thought of Monday still sat heavy in her chest. Kevin's apartment was dark, except for a single lamp. He didn't turn on any more lights as he tossed his keys on the counter.
Tech Data Solutions. She said it so casually. I've got a briefing for that branch on Monday. Could it really be the same office?
He opened his laptop and typed Tech Data Solutions Downtown Branch into the search bar. The result was his own district. He logged into the company portal and searched Sophia Chen. A thread labeled Sophia's setup date, betting pool, filled the screen. Mark Donovan. $10 says she gets stood up. Nobody would willingly date that mouse. 3 others had added their bets.
They're betting on her humiliation. In my company. While I sat there and bought her cake.
His regional visit was unscheduled. He could walk in Monday morning, see the faces behind those comments.
I could call her now. Tell her who I am. But what would that do? She'd worry all weekend. Number. I'll show up unannounced.
He saved screenshots of every comment. Then he sent Sophia a simple text. Good luck tomorrow. No explanation. This wasn't just a rescue mission anymore. It was a reckoning. He opened his email and began typing to his assistant. Clara. No pleasantries. Clara, clear my Monday. I am visiting the downtown branch unannounced. No advance notice. I'll explain later. Kevin. He sent the email with a tap and switched to his calendar.
I'll walk in right as her morning starts. She'll be bracing for mockery. Not for the truth to walk through that door.
He pulled up the screenshots once more. Mark's comments, the bets, the laughing emojis.
Mark thinks he's bulletproof. He's never had anyone above him care enough to look.
He navigated to Sophia's contact profile. The message he'd sent earlier still sat there, unanswered. She'd seen it just after 11. The read receipt showed, but she hadn't replied.
She probably thinks I am just a stranger being nice. She has no idea what's coming Monday morning.
Kevin leaned back and stared at the ceiling, the next 36 hours stretching out like a fuse waiting to be lit. In her apartment, Sophia sat on the edge of her bed, the powder blue dress still draped across the chair. She hadn't been able to put it away. The screen glowed. Good luck tomorrow. You are stronger than you think.
He remembered. He actually remembered.
She typed back. Thanks. I'll need it.
Last night, someone saw me. Not the mouse, not the punchline. I have to hold on to that.
She lay awake, staring at the dark ceiling, the numbers on her clock ticking closer to Monday morning. When Monday finally arrived, she opened her closet with deliberate slowness.
Not powder blue. That dress was for the girl who got stood up. Today I am someone else. I can face them. I can walk in there and not flinch.
Kevin's text still glowed in her mind as she locked the door. Whatever Monday brought, she wouldn't be alone. The office hummed with Monday noise, but as Sophia entered, smirks spread like ripples. She walked the gauntlet to her cubicle.
Well, look who survived the weekend. How was the date? Did he at least pay for the wine you cried into?
It was a lovely dinner. The restaurant was beautiful. You should try it sometime, Mark, alone.
Alone? That's your specialty. I won the bet, by the way. Easy $10. Almost felt sorry for you. Almost.
He's not worth the tears. Kevin saw me. Kevin didn't laugh.
Her phone buzzed against the desk. The screen lit up. I'll be there. Kevin.
He's coming? But how? He doesn't know this place. Unless, no, that's impossible.
Who's Kevin? The waiter took pity on you. We have photos of you sitting like a lost puppy. The group chat is exploding.
He's someone decent, a concept you'll never grasp, Mark. Let them laugh. Kevin said he'd be here. I don't know what that means, but I believe him.
The glass doors swung open, and a man in a navy suit stepped into the office. Not the denim shirt from Friday night. This man was all business. Conversations faltered as heads turned. His gaze swept the room and locked onto Sophia's cubicle like a heat-seeking missile.
It's him. It's really him. But how and why is he dressed like that?
He walked past cubicles with the ease of someone who owned the floor, not a visitor.
Hold up, stranger. This isn't a public lounge. Who let you in?
No one needed to let me in.
He's here. He actually came. And he's not backing down.
Mark's sneer twitched, but he planted himself squarely in Kevin's path.
We don't need a tour. So unless you've got a meeting with someone important, you can leave.
Kevin didn't flinch. The silence that followed felt like the deep breath before a storm.
Who are you, the new guy? Miss Chen isn't available for just anyone.
Without a word, Kevin reached into his inner pocket and withdrew a laminated badge.
Kevin Wilson, Regional Director. I've been reviewing employee conduct recently, and I am especially interested in a certain betting pool on Miss Chen's personal life.
Mark's smirk vanished as if it had been slapped off. The badge hovered inches from his face, undeniable. A coffee cup slid from a coworker's frozen hand and shattered on the floor. No one moved to pick up the pieces.
Miss Chen has been a model employee. Yet I found a thread mocking her in this office's own chat, complete with a betting pool.
Mark's mouth opened, but nothing came out. His face was the color of printer paper.
Harassment will not be tolerated. Not in my district.
In that frozen second, the mockers realized their little joke had just become the most expensive bet of their careers.
Mark Donovan, Ellen Park, David Rios, all of you participated in a betting pool designed to humiliate Miss Chen.
The three coworkers felt every eye in the room turn toward them. Mark's knees looked ready to buckle.
This behavior violates our code of conduct. An investigation will open immediately. I expect full cooperation.
He came here for me. Not just a kind stranger, he's my director, and he's burning down their whole game.
Sophia stood. The months of whispered jokes, the setup, the empty chair, all of it slid off her shoulders in that single motion.
Miss Chen, I am sorry you endured this. It stops now. Now, ready for lunch, Sophia?
I'd love to.
Her hand met his, and for the first time since Friday, Sophia Chen felt like she wasn't the punchline. They walked out together, past the shattered coffee cup and the pale faces of those who had bet against her.
Wait, Sophia. I didn't mean it was stupid. I am sorry.
Save it for HR.
One look from Kevin was enough to turn Mark's apology into silence. The office door clicked shut behind them, sealing the stunned room. In the vacuum left behind, panicked whispers ignited like kindling. He has screenshots, someone gasped. The entire betting thread. We're all going to be investigated. Fingers scrambled across phones as the thread was frantically deleted. But the evidence already sat in Kevin Wilson's possession. Mark collapsed into his swivel chair, the realization sinking in. His career at Tech Data had just ended.
All that for $10. All that to watch her cry.
The bullies who had bet against Sophia Chen were now the ones facing a reckoning, with no cake to soften the blow. The sun hit them as they stepped onto the pavement, the office building looming behind them, like a prison they'd just escaped.
You are the regional director, and you were at that restaurant. How did you even find out?
When you mentioned Tech Data, I knew it was my district. I logged in that night and found the thread.
He pulled out his phone and opened the screenshots. Mark's comments, the bets, the mocking emojis.
I couldn't let them get away with it. Not once. I saw what they'd done.
He saw all of it. He knew every word, and he still looked at me like I was worth saving. Thank you. No one's ever done something like this for me.
Someone should have a long time ago. I am just sorry it took a stranger at a bar.
Her tears weren't sad anymore. They were the kind that wash away years of small cruelties. She didn't pull away when his hand brushed hers. For now, that was enough. They walked the few blocks in comfortable silence. The restaurant looked different in daytime, less romantic, more honest.
I didn't think I'd ever walk through these doors again. Everything looks smaller in daylight.
The food's the same. The company is better this time.
The host led them to the same table, by the window. No candle, just bright daylight on the white cloth.
To second chances. And to the luck that brings strangers together.
To strangers who become the reason you return to a room.
They sipped. Then he leaned forward, elbows on the table, and started asking about her real life.
I used to paint watercolors, but I haven't touched a brush in 3 years.
I didn't come just to rescue you, Sophia. I came because I wanted to know the person behind the powder blue dress. The one who laughs at terrible boss stories.
Their eyes met and held. The restaurant buzz faded. Something new was beginning, and neither wanted to look away. The afternoon had slipped into evening. When they finally pushed through the restaurant doors, the city was painted in amber streetlight. Kevin's hand found Sophia's without a word. She didn't pull away. Her fingers laced through his as if they'd done it 100 times.
What happens now? I mean, you are the regional director, and I am me.
I think we see where this goes. No bets, no setups. Just a guy who likes a girl and wants to know if she'll have dinner again.
A soft laugh escaped her. The first one all day that held no weight of survival.
No setup? Promise?
Promise. No coworkers, no group chat, no hidden agenda. Just us.
They stopped beneath the same street lamp that had witnessed their first goodbye. Its light pooled gold around their feet.
This is where I told you good luck. I didn't say goodbye because I didn't want to.
The unspoken hung in the air. Tomorrow would come with consequences. But tonight was just theirs. Kevin's hand found her cheek with a tenderness that stole her breath. The night air seemed to still.
I am glad you were stood up. Because if they hadn't, I might never have met you.
Me too. That's insane. But I am so glad.
And then she laughed, a sound so light, it felt like it had been locked inside her for years. He didn't hesitate. He leaned in and kissed her, soft and unhurried, as if they had all the time in the world.
This is what it feels like when someone doesn't pity you. When they choose you.
Her hand came up to rest against his chest, not pushing away, but pulling him closer.
Come on. I owe you a proper date. We'll start with cake.
Hand in hand, they continued on. Two silhouettes merging with the city's warm night. What had started as humiliation ended in a new story, and they were just on chapter 1. A few blocks later, the warm glow of a late-night bakery cut through the dark. Kevin gestured toward its fogged windows.
They have chocolate lava cake. It's fate.
The place was nearly empty. A single server looked up sleepily. They took a corner booth, its cracked vinyl a comfort.
To Friday night. When you turned a disaster into the best thing I've done in months.
I still can't believe you are real. That any of this is. Monday morning I was invisible.
You were never invisible. You were just surrounded by people too blind to see.
Her fingers laced through his on the tabletop, the warmth of the cup seeping into their touch.
What if Monday comes and things get complicated? You being the director. Me being me.
Then we'll figure it out. I didn't sit at your table just to walk away when it gets hard.
They finished their cake as the city slept, then stepped back into the cool pre-dawn stillness together. 1 week later, the morning light felt different as Sophia walked through the glass doors. The air held no whispers. The cubicles were quiet. The smirks that used to greet her had been replaced by something new, respect or maybe fear. Her computer screen showed an all-staff email from Kevin Wilson. The investigation is complete. Mark Donovan, Ellen Park, and David Rios are no longer with the company. Harassment will not be tolerated.
They thought $10 and a cruel joke would break me. Instead it broke their careers. It's okay. Really. I'm just glad it's over.
The glass doors swung open. Kevin Wilson entered, but this time, no one blocked his path. He walked straight to her desk.
Miss Chen, the quarterly review needs your perspective. Join me?
Of course. I have the projections ready.
They walked side by side toward the conference room, not as director and employee, but as equals who had pulled each other from the wreckage of a bad bet. The empty chair that started it all was now just a memory. What filled this room was finally, fully, hers. Later that afternoon, after the meeting, Kevin and Sophia stepped out into the sun-drenched street. The city hummed around them.
I keep expecting someone to jump out and say it was all another joke. But it's real, isn't it?
It's real. And it's going to stay that way. No more bets. No more cruelty.
She smiled, but this time there was no trace of the woman who had sat alone at a candlelit table, waiting.
I used to think I deserved what they did. That maybe I was just forgettable. Now I feel invincible.
You should. You walked through fire and came out on the other side. That's not forgettable.
A passerby glanced at them, just two people in love on a city street, no longer rescuer and rescued.
So, what now? More cake?
Always more cake. But first, dinner. I booked that same table. This time, I am not asking to take a seat. I am taking you.
The woman who had been stood up now walked forward, hand in hand with the man who had seen her worth before she could. That evening, the restaurant's candlelight flickered, just as it had 3 weeks ago, but the woman in the powder blue dress was nowhere to be seen. Instead, Sophia Chen walked in, wearing a bold crimson dress, her arm linked through Kevin Wilson's. The same room, but a different woman. The host led them to the same table by the window. This time, no seat was empty.
Good evening. I remember you. I am glad to see you are not dining alone tonight, miss.
Neither am I, thank you.
To the girl who got stood up, and the woman who stood up anyway.
To the stranger who asked to take a seat and ended up taking my hand.
They clinked glasses, the sound softer than any bet ever could be. The candle between them cast shadows of a future not yet written, but finally hers. As they ate, their hands met often across the white tablecloth. No screenshots, no bets, only the quiet certainty of second chances. The reservation card on the table read simply, Wilson, table for 2. No cancellations. Not ever again. They stepped out of the restaurant into the velvet night. The same street lamp waited, a silent witness to 2 different goodbyes.
The last time we stood here, I thought I'd never feel whole again. Now I can't imagine my life without this.
Good. Because I've already booked this table for next Friday. And the one after that.
She laughed, the sound lighter than the summer air. No trace of the woman who once sat alone in powder blue.
Promise me one thing. No more bets. Even the good kind.
No bets. Just us. That's the only sure thing.
He kissed her forehead, a gentleness that spoke of forever. The empty chair was now the furthest thing from memory. Hand in hand, they walked into the familiar city streets, no longer strangers, no longer rescuer and rescued, just 2 people who had found each other at the perfect time. The bet that was meant to humiliate her had, in the end, only humiliated those who placed it. And for Sophia Chen, the biggest win wasn't the job or the justice, it was the man holding her hand. And somewhere in a dark apartment, Mark Donovan stared at a single $10 bill on his coffee table. The most expensive bet he'd ever lost. Sunlight filled Sophia's living room, painting the floorboards gold. She sat cross-legged on the floor, a watercolor brush in hand, the first in 3 years.
The colors never felt so bright. I thought I'd lost this part of me forever.
The front door opened, and Kevin walked in with 2 paper cups of coffee.
You are painting. That's the best thing I've seen all week.
You say that every time you bring coffee, but thank you for believing I still could.
I never doubted it. I knew the real Sophia was just waiting for someone to pull back the curtain.
She set down the brush and leaned into him, the paint still wet on her fingers. But that didn't matter. The girl who had been stood up wasn't just not alone, she was truly seen. And she had finally learned to see herself. Some bets are worth losing, some dates are worth being stood up, and some strangers are worth letting in.